Dear students, I have come with a new module. This is an important module, Introduction to Consumer Price Index. We are using this for day-to-day activities. Salaries are fixed, dearness allowance is fixed, wage negotiations we are using, government is using for policy decisions, and that is the importance of Consumer Price Index. Now let's learn what is Consumer Price Index. So this is also known as price of index or cost of living price index. So always we have to remember that if cost of price index is increasing, then government will take a decision to increase the dearness allowance, because government feels that whatever the existing salary or wage is not sufficient to maintain the same standard of living, so that everyone or the employee should get more salary. So this has got lot of importance in our day-to-day life. Consumer price index. Always you can see in the news or activities when they're taking, based on consumer price index, they're taking various decisions. So this index represents the increase in price paid by the ultimate consumer for a specified basket of goods and services. Now, what do you mean by basket of goods and services? See, this is based on certain items, what an average family will use and how much they have to spend to maintain certain standard of living. So high income group will be using a different basket of goods. Middle income will be different. The below poverty line people will be different. But the basket of goods will be same. That meaning everybody needs food, everybody needs clothing, everybody needs fuel and lighting, house rent will be there, and miscellaneous expenditure will be there. Traveling will be there, those who are entertainment will be there, net connection will be there, Wi-Fi connection will be there. So that can be in the miscellaneous expenditure. So these categories or the percentage increase will be different for different sections of society, but the basket of goods remains the same. That is why consumer price index is calculated for the basket of goods. Now, uses of consumer price index. Used for policy decisions at the government level or at every institution or anybody. If you take the day-to-day activities, we are based on the consumer price index. Then wage salary negotiations we are using. If you are asking for a salary increase or a wage increase with a business management or a educational institution or government, they will always say that consumer price index is increasing. So we want more salary or more wages. Then used to measure the changing purchasing power of money and real income. See, now you know that petrol and diesel prices, cooking gas, everything is going up. So that meaning what all money we used to spend, we are not able to buy the same quantity what we used to purchase earlier. So the purchasing power of money is changing with the real income. Salary or wage is not increasing, but expenses are going up. This is a difficult situation. Now government is using consumer price index for rent control. What should be the rent? How much a person should be paying as rent? So government is using consumer price index for fixing the rent. Then taxation. How much should be the tax? Whether they have to introduce higher tax or less tax, or whether there should not be any change in the tax rate. That is also decided based on the consumer price index. Then general economic policies, the savings, the tax concessions they want to give, any economic liberalization or anything if they want to take, government is using consumer price index as the basic thing for taking the decisions. Now limitations, if it has got uses, it has got limitations also. So first one is consumer price index is based on a sample. So if you are taking basket of goods for below poverty line, middle income or high income, within that group itself, how people will spend will be different. We cannot categorize saying that this group will be using only this expenses, or this same basket of goods will be applicable for everyone within the group below poverty line, middle income or high income. It can be different. Then all limitations possible for a sample study will be applicable, because we know that sample, when you are making a sample, it has got its own limitations. Within the sample itself, there will be, you will get characteristics which are totally different from the other sample selected for the study. Then consumer price index assumes that quantity of products included in the index remains same. See, when you are taking 1986 as the base year or 1990 as the base year, if you are calculating consumer price index for 2021, if we assume that whatever the quality of goods we used to get in 1990 or 1990 86 is the same, it is totally wrong. See, you know that new inventions every day, the laptop we use, the desktop we use, the mobile phones we use, the TV we use, everything keeps changing. But we assume that it will be remaining same for some period of time, 5 years or 10 years, till you change the base year. So this is another limitation. Now this is a totally wrong assumption, because usually 10 years if we change the base, then also so many inventions, so many new things will add to the basket of goods, so that we are not considering for the quotation of consumer price index. Then comparison over long periods is not reliable. Even if 5 years if you take, that also is a longer period for computing consumer price index. Now, important points in the construction of consumer price index. It has got uses, it has got limitations. So we have to remember some important points are there. So the first one is the group of people to be included in the index to be decided in advance, below poverty line, how they are doing that, whether they can fit into one group or middle income group. We have to see that who all are the group of people you are going to include. Next is sample has to be collected from the population. So we have to do the proper sample study, otherwise it will give a wrong result. Then quantity and price of items to be included in the basket of goods to be decided in advance. So what all the items they use. See, I told you below poverty line, middle income and high income. Basket of goods, though the items, the headings are same, but the what they use is actually totally different. So we have to decide in advance what we are going to include in the index. Next is only retail prices to be used for construction of consumer price index. We know that we have two prices available. One is retail price and second one is wholesale price. Wholesale price at the value will be applicable only for manufacturers or distributors. Whereas as the ultimate consumer price index, the name itself indicates that we are computing the index for the consumers. So consumers are always getting at the retail price. So we should never include wholesale price in the construction of index numbers, especially in the consumer price index. Now, two methods are there. One is average expenditure method and second one is family budget method. Now, the average expenditure method, this is the most popular method for constructing consumer price index. The formula for computation is CPI. That is how we will use consumer price index, the short form. CPI is equal to sigma P1 Q0 divided by sigma P0 Q0 into 100. P1 is price of current year, P0 price of base year, Q1 quantity of current year and Q0 is the quantity of base year. Now the family budget method, that is computation is based on family budgets, based on the salary what we get or whatever your income. We have a family budget. This is what we are going to spend for this month. So that is how the name we got, family budget method. So the formula for computation is CPI is equal to sigma PV divided by sigma V. P, you have to remember that it's price relatives. It is calculated using the equation P1 divided by P0 into 100 for each values. P1 is the current year price, P0 is the base year price into 100. So if 5 items are included in the index, we have to calculate price relatives for all the 5 values. Then V is the weights, that is equal to P0 Q0. Sometimes it will be given as value, sometimes it will be given as weight in the problems when we will do that. So we will change the equation accordingly. So sometimes it will be sigma PV divided by sigma V, sometimes it will be sigma PW divided by sigma W. So that distinction we are making based on whether values are given in the question or weights are given in the question. So the computation is same. So both the methods will give the same answer. This you have to remember. Even if you are using aggregate expenditure method or family budget method, your answer will be same. So this is what I want to explain in this module. Thank you.